And welcome back to Cottage Talk. I am Russ Goldman. This is our preview of Fulham's match against Manchester City. It is called Buy or Sell, Fulham versus Manchester City. So this preview is going to be pretty much different than probably any preview you've heard of any match. So I thought I would have a little fun in regards to this preview because, let's be honest, the chances of Fulham beating Manchester City are pretty slim. You never know. So instead of going throughout the show talking about how fantastic Manchester City are, how difficult it's going to be for Fulham, I thought I would come out with some statements and say, do I buy them or am I selling them? Meaning I'm not buying them. So I'm going to go through several statements. I will end with predicting my starting 11 and, of course, my prediction for the match. But I'm going to go through this. And like I said, I'm just going to do this show just a little bit differently and see how everyone likes it or doesn't like it. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. As always, I want to mention Cottage Talk is now part of the talkSPORT fan network. It's pretty exciting, and you're going to be seeing more and more promotion of that, but we are part of the talkSPORT fan network. Okay, let's get going with this preview. So let's start with some news from the presser, and it involves Willian because Willian was not able to play against Aston Villa, reportedly dealing with a hamstring injury, which doesn't sound good to me. So here's my statement. Am I going to buy or sell this? Willian will start against Manchester City. I'm going to sell this. I don't think there's any chance that he is going to play against Manchester City. So I would like to think that he would be available, but hamstring injury can be serious. Hopefully this is not a serious injury, and we still see Willian play for Fulham sometime during the season. I hope it's sooner than later, but I think Fulham will be cautious with this, and I don't expect him to start. I certainly don't expect him to play. I don't expect him to even be involved. Again, that's just my opinion on this. I could be wrong. I'm not against him playing only if the medical department feels that he's ready to go. So I'm going to sell this. I don't think Willian's going to start against Manchester City or play. So let's move on. João Palhinha will not pick up a yellow card. I'm going to sell this too. He is going to pick up a yellow card. He's playing against Manchester City. He's going to be a tackling machine, which we know he is. And that is going to lead to a yellow card. I truly believe that. It's just his way. It's his style. And you have to learn to live with that if you're a Fulham supporter, that he's going to pick up a lot of yellow cards. He's going to get suspended. And hopefully he doesn't pick up another suspension. But if I was a betting man, I'm going to say he's going to pick up a yellow card. So I'm selling this. I'm selling that João Palhinha will not pick up a yellow card. I think he's going to pick up a yellow card. It just would not surprise me at all. I'm expecting him to pick up a yellow card. Okay, so let's move on. And if you are a Manchester City supporter, you might not like the next two. So here's the statement. The broadcasters will kiss the ass of Pep Guardiola and Man City from the moment the match begins until it ends. I'm buying this. I'm going to ask a question. When is the last time on a broadcast you've heard any kind of criticism on Manchester City? Far and few between. The media love Manchester City. They love how good of a team they are. They love Pep Guardiola. They want to promote Pep Guardiola. They will not say anything bad about Pep Guardiola in this match. But you know what? What's interesting here? You should be able to criticize. You can praise, but you should also be able to criticize. I've heard over the years very little criticism of Pep and Manchester City. And listen, there is room to criticize. Let's be honest here. You can criticize how they built their dynasty, if that's what you want to call it, because there's some situations going on with them, and we're going to have to see how it plays out over the summer. But all I'm going to say is that no team should be able to not deal with any criticism. For whatever reason, I've heard no criticism of Pep Guardiola. That's why I say the broadcasters will certainly kiss the ass of Pep and Man City throughout the match. I think this is an easy one. I'm buying this one 100%. Okay, let's move on. A Manchester player will dive in this match to either win a free kick or a penalty. Oh, I'm buying this. In fact, I should put a number on this. I'm going to say it's probably going to be 2 or 3 times throughout the match that you're going to see diving. And you have one of the worst divers that I've ever seen in Jack Grealish. So you're dealing with him. We saw what happened with Kevin De Bruyne. This is actually a little bit of a revenge match for me because Kevin De Bruyne dived to win a penalty for Man City. I like Kevin De Bruyne, but let's call it what it is. That was a horrible dive to win a penalty against Fulham at the Etihad. So I'm going to say not only am I buying this, but I'm going to say they're probably going to dive at least 2 or 3 times. Now, to be fair, if you're a Manchester City supporter, do I criticize Fulham players for diving? Absolutely. Clint Dempsey was one of the worst divers I've ever seen, and Clint Dempsey brought me to Fulham Football Club. I call him out. I call out Mitro. Harry Wilson dives. These are players that do dive for Fulham Football Club. I hate diving. I think it takes away from how great the game is and how great these players are. Jack Grealish is a great player. He doesn't need to be doing this. Kevin De Bruyne certainly doesn't need to. Raheem Sterling also was one that dove against Fulham, won a penalty a few seasons ago. So am I a little sensitive to the diving issue because of Fulham? I'm going to say no, because I just don't like diving at all. I'm completely against it, and I'm going to call it out. And sorry, but Manchester City, for as good as they are, for the intricate passing, for everything that they do, there doesn't need to be any diving. Just let the play speak for itself. But unfortunately, we do have diving when it comes to Manchester City. So I'm buying this. A Manchester City player will dive in this match to either win a free kick or a penalty. In fact, I'll put the number at 2 or 3. It's not going to be just one dive. It's going to be multiple dives. Okay. Here's an interesting one, and I'm curious what people think about this one. Fulham will get more than one shot on target. I'm going to sell this. I don't think they're going to get more than one shot. In fact, I think they'll be lucky to get a shot on target here. And this goes back twofold. I think Fulham can create opportunities, but when you're playing against Man City, you're not going to have the ball. You're not going to have many opportunities. Will they get it on target? I'm not sure. I think they might be able to get one, but to get multiple shots on target, I'm selling this. I'm just going to sell this. I don't think Fulham will get more than one shot on target. I just think it's going to be too difficult on them. The way that Man City plays, they will have the majority of the play, probably, 80, 90%. So hopefully they get a shot on target, but they won't get multiple shots on target. So I'm definitely selling this. Okay, one more. Here's an interesting one. Manchester City will score more than 3 goals in this match. I'm actually going to sell this. I don't think they're going to. I know there are probably many experts out there that are going to say that they're going to win 4-5-0, 4-1, 5-1, 6-2. I think that they're going to score less than 3 goals. I put it at 3 goals, but I think they're going to score 2 goals in this match. That's going to be my prediction. I'll share my prediction in just a second. But Fulham defensively, I think they can get the job done here to keep it close. So I am actually going to sell this. Manchester City will score more than 3 goals in this match. No, they're not. I'm just going to sell that. I just don't think they're going to. I think Fulham defensively is going to get it done. And that's where I'm going to leave it on that. Okay. Coming up next to end the show, I'm going to share my starting 11 and then also what I think Marco Silva is going to do with his starting 11. And I'll end this quick episode with a prediction for the match. Okay, so here's my starting 11. I'm going to go with Bernd Leno, Kenny Tete on the right, on the left, Anthony Robinson, your center back pairing. I'm going to go with Diop and Ream. That's what I'm going with. I'm not going to go Tosin Ream. I'm going Diop and Ream. In the middle, it's going to be Paulinho, Reed, and Pereira. On the left, I'm going to go with Manor Solomon. On the right, I'm going to go with Harry Wilson. Hopefully he is ready to go. And up top, I am going to go back to Dan James. I'm going to go to Dan James. That's what I would do in this match. That's what I'm thinking about doing. In regards to what I think Marco is going to do, might be a little bit different. I think that he is going to play Tosin instead of Diop. I think that's going to be one change. And that's probably all that I think is going to be changed. I don't think he's going to change anything else. I think he will go with Manor Solomon and Harry Wilson on the right as your wingers and Dan James up top. That's what I think he's going to do. And I think that's the way to go in this against Manchester City. You're not going to have the ball that much. So what do you need? You need speed. And you're going to have speed with Dan James and Harry Wilson. You need speed. You also have a little bit of it with Manor Solomon. So for me, it's about the counterattack. You might be lucky to get one or two of them. So if you do, you got to be quick. And Dan James, you could say he might not be the best player in the world, but you know what? He is quick and he can score goals. So that's why I'm going with Dan James up top. I think that's the way to go. I don't think you go with Vinicius in this match. I just don't think that is the right move. I think you got to go with pace. So that's why I'm going with Dan James. Okay. To end the show, I'm going to share my prediction for the match. Now, as I've already said, I am going to predict less than 3 goals for Manchester City. I don't see Fulham scoring in this match. I think they're going to make it respectable. I know many probably don't think they're going to, but I'm going to go with a 2-0 Manchester City victory. And I think they're going to get the goals early, but I don't think they're going to build on it. I think they're going to win comfortably 2-0. It's going to be a comfortable 2-0 victory for Man City. I think they will cruise, but I don't think they're going to score 4 or 5 goals that some probably will be predicting for this match. Just don't see it. Fulham have been good defensively, and I think they will get it done in this match. This is a very interesting chess match between Manchester City and Fulham with the two managers. I know Marco is going to have his team to play with no fear, and I think they will play that way. And I think because of playing with no fear, they will be aggressive when they get their chances. And that's why I don't see them giving up these multiple goals. I just don't see it more than 2. I think that they will be solid defensively, and I think they're going to make it difficult as much as you can on a team like Manchester City. And it's funny, I predicted Arsenal to win the league, so I obviously want Fulham to win, get something out of this. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to get anything from this match. But I wouldn't bet against them giving Manchester City a game. I think they're going to give them a game. I just look at it that way. When I'm talking about cruising, that doesn't mean that I don't think that they're going to give them a game. I think 2-0, they can take the foot off the gas and they'll be in control. But Fulham will make it difficult at some point during this match. That's my prediction. So I am going with a 2-0 victory for Manchester City. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Fulham can get something from it. I'm just not expecting it. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Cottage Talk. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other Fulham supporters find us. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. My name is Russ Goldman. Thank you as always for watching and listening to Cottage Talk, now part of the talkSPORT Fan Network.